When they went to him, in verse 17, Elisha pronounced to them, verse 17, 2 Kings 3, for thus said the Lord, ye shall not see wind, neither shall ye see rain, yet that valley shall be filled with water, that ye may drink, both ye and your cattle and your beasts. No rain, no wind. Everywhere was dry. Where will water come from? Everywhere was dry. And the prophet said, you won't see rain or wind, but the valley will be filled up with water. Did that happen or not? Let's go further. In verse 20, that same scripture, 2 Kings 3. And it came to pass in the morning, when the meat offering was offered, that behold, there came water by the way of Edom, and the country was filled with water. Supernatural provisions. Supernatural provisions. I don't know how it will happen, but by this time tomorrow, there will be water. Everywhere is dry. Amen. Why? Because they followed the guiding ministry of the Holy Spirit. They sought for the prophet of God, and by that they expressed the miracle of supernatural provisions. Amen. So when you are led by the Holy Spirit of God, you enjoy the miracle of supernatural provisions. Amen. You enjoy the special provisions. Very important. Supernatural provision. Miracle rooted in divine leading, which bringeth about rest. Of course, when you have supernatural provisions, you will be at rest. Why would God give you supernatural provision? To give you rest. To make your heart be at peace. When you have provisions, your heart will be at rest. Amen. That's what. Your heart will be at rest. So this is God's agenda. I will give you rest. I will give you rest. How? By giving you the ministry, the guiding ministry of the Holy Spirit. Amen. That will sprout up miracles of provision in your life. Amen. I will give you rest. I'm on an agenda of giving you rest. I've seen your struggles. I want to give you rest, said the Lord. And here is my plan. You will begin to enjoy the leading ministry of the Holy Spirit. Amen. And by this, you begin to have miracles of supernatural provisions. Amen. You won't see rain, you won't see wind, but you will never lack water. Amen. Samson fought his enemies. In Judges chapter 14. And after doing that, you are told that it became very thirsty. How did he conquer his enemies? With dry jawbone of an ass. One man confronted thousands of enemies, and he brought down 1,000 out of them. The remaining fled away. It is unimaginable. Because even if you stand in the midst of 1,000 people and they all rush you, they will handle you, they will tie you down. But they couldn't. Why? What led to that? Because the Spirit of God has already descended upon this man called Samson. We are not going there. Now, when he conquered 1,000 enemies, you are told that he became thirsty. Of course, man will become thirsty. Asked boxers, asked wrestlers, when they finish boxing, rolling up and down the boxing ring, they will be sweating profusely. They will be asking to drink water. So he was so thirsty, and he cried to God, you have given me miracles to defeat these enemies. I'm thirsty. Do you know what God said? He said, look at that dry bone in your hand. And an hollow was drilled in that jaw bone, and water began to come out from a dry bone. You can't trace the source of water. Water began to come out from dry bones. We are talking about God here that can produce supernatural provisions for those that follow the divine leading of the Holy Spirit. So there is miracles contract provision. And this is God's agenda for his people in this season as we are crossing over to 2020. I will give you rest.
Amen.
You begin to enjoy miracles of spiritual provisions. And this is your portion.
Amen.
In the name of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
This is your portion.
Amen.
In the name of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
This is your portion.
Amen.
In the name of Jesus Christ. Supernatural provisions. It also happened between our Lord Jesus and Peter in Luke 5 from verse 1 to verse 7. Luke 5 verse 1 to verse 7. Luke 5, yes, verse 1 to verse 7. Peter was a skilled fisherman. He toiled all night. He was frustrated. The best time that a fisherman could fish and get good fish, good ones, in large quantity. Bible says all night he toiled and no fish was caught. No one. And when the morning broke, he was mending his net, and Jesus was to conduct a crusade. Large crowd. So Jesus had to enter one of the boats of Peter, and he climbed that boat. He sat down. He used that boat as his own altar, pulpit. After teaching the people, he now called Peter. He knew that Peter and his fellows had toiled all night with no breakthrough, no provision. And he instructed Peter to cast in the net. Peter said, this is not a time to fish. Even the best time to fish, we didn't catch one singular fish. And now he asked me to cast in my net. Well, he said, at your word, I will do it. What? The moment Jesus released that word, cast in your net, I was ruminating over what happened in the realm of the Spirit. Do you know what happened? The moment Jesus spoke that word, every fish in the river, they obeyed his word, and they left where they were. They began to drop to the same spot where Christ was.
Amen.
They left where they were at his word. Supernatural provisions. You are told that Peter had mighty harvest. The net began to break. She began to sink. It began to call for helps. You know, the kind of blessing God will bless his children, whereby even you will scared. Imagine God just hitting you with $1 billion. Your heart will go like this. That where will put this one? And such blessing is coming your way very soon.
Amen.
When God is about to bless his children, he blesses them lavishly. God is a lavish blesser. So get set for supernatural provisions.
Amen.
He blessed Peter, and Peter was scared. Net began to break. The kind of fish that entered the net, the numbers of fish that entered the net, even the boat began to sink. You begin to imagine. Boat began to sink. It must be supernatural event that led to that. Because while he followed instruction, Jesus guided him. Launch of your net. Don't bother about the factor. Divine provision has nothing to do with factors surrounding you. Because even in the dryness, you still begin to drink water. He said, I will cleave what I will cleave the rock. Rock will bring you water. So it has nothing to do with your environmental factor.
Amen. Amen.
That's why it is called supernatural provisions.
Amen.
Supernatural provisions. Somebody is being blessed tonight in the name of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Number 2 miracle, rooted in divine leading, which bringeth about rest. The miracle of supernatural protection. When you are sure of divine protection, you will be at rest. You won't be scared of anything. God opened your eyes and you saw your car encircled with fire. You saw that your car was covered with the blood. You will never be scared on the highway. Never be scared. A man was about to cross a border, and at the border he saw like 20 dogs. They began to bark at him. Dogs, white dogs. He was so scared. He ran back. When he ran back to his father said, "Don't worry. I will assign to you big lions. Just one lion." Said, "Don't worry. Just let this lion follow you." As the man was going, a lion was behind him. The moment those 20 dogs sighted the lion, oh my God. Oh my, they just from afar, they all scattered everywhere, just run. If you don't clear the way for me, 20 of them scattered and they cleared the way. And the man was not scared. Why? Because there was something behind him. If the dogs did not scatter because of that man, they must scatter because of the lion behind him.
Amen.
So he will be at rest. The miracle of provision. We are still engaging Psalm 23. What does it say here? 23 and verse 4 here. We are still using that same scripture to analyze this miracles rooted in divine leading. Verse 4, Psalm 23. Yea, though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. For thou art with me. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, because I know that you are with me. Even if 20 dogs are standing at the door, I will never fear, because I know that a lamb is with me. It's the same thing he said in Isaiah 49, verse 10. 49, verse 10. They shall not hunger nor thirst. We have explained that. He said, neither shall the heat nor sun smite them. That speaks of protection. Therefore, he that has mercy on them shall lead them. So by divine leading, they enjoy divine protection. Isaiah 49 and verse 10. By divine leading, they enjoy the miracle of protection. When God leads you, He protects you.
Amen.
When God is your shepherd, He protects you.
Amen.
From what? From death. From death. He protects you from death. You may walk through the valley of shadow of death. He said, you will never fear no evil. Nor fear no evil, because His presence is strong and mighty with you. So even if the spirit of death lurks around you, you never be afraid, because you know that there is the Spirit of God leading you. You are not using your own wisdom to lead yourself. You are being led by the Spirit of God Himself. You are being led by the Holy Spirit Himself. Now that 49 verse 10, there's something there, a mystery. Isaiah 49 verse 10. So they shall not hunger nor thirst, neither shall the heat nor sun smite them. Now, it is not this sun that the Bible is referring to. There's no way you will walk and sun will not shine on you. In fact, every man needs sunlight. So when he said that sun will not smite them, you know, it is also in Psalm 121. Let us see. Psalm 121. Let us see there. Verse 6. 121 Psalms, verse 6. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night.
Amen.
Except for the rest of your life, you'll be living indoor. That's when sun will not shine on you, and moon will not shine on you. Praise God. Amen. So now it is not the physical sun the Bible is referring to here. No. Let us go deeper. In the pagan world, there is a demon called Baal. They believe that Baal was and is to them the god of sun. And also another goddess called Asherah, the moon goddess. When the enemy is on the mission to attacking a man, they will deploy the powers of Baal and the powers of Asherah against that person. That as long as this person is walking by day, it will never have any breakthrough. So they will walk in tandem with the sun god, the spirit of Baal, that demon. That as long as this person is also seeing night or moon, that his life will never express any breakthrough. So when God said the sun will not smite you by day or moon by night, it means that the demons of Baal and Asherah will never have any power over your destiny.
Amen.
That let them invoke the spirit of Baal against your life. It will be a futile experience or effort. Let them engage the spirit of Asherah so as to stop your effort at night. So as to stop your effort during the day. He said all their works will be futile. Joshua, the man of God, understood these tactics of the enemy. In Joshua chapter 10, we all know that story. Joshua was on a mission to conquer his enemies. He knew that those nations always worship Baal and Asherah. So, for him to overpower those enemies of his, he first of all confronted the demons of the sun and moon. Joshua chapter 10, verse 12 and 13. Let's see what happened there. Joshua 10, 12 and 13 verses. Then spake Joshua to the Lord in the day when the Lord delivered all the Amorites before the children of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel, Son, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and thou moon in the valley of Ajalon. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies.
Amen.
So Joshua first of all dealt with those demons. In other words, the sun stood still, the moon stood still. It means that those demons were rendered powerless. And in Christ, every man that follows the leading of the Holy Spirit has been empowered over every demonic spirit. So now you can pray against every God and goddess that they might deploy against your life. So Joshua understood this principle. That's why he first of all did. What he did was that he confronted those two demons, Baal and Asherah. When he bound them, when he engaged God's power, the sun stood still, the moon stood still. He went ahead to conquer his enemies.
Amen.
So now, when you are divinely led, you enjoy the miracle of protection.
Amen.
The spirit of Baal that operates with sun, the spirit of Asherah that operates with moon will never have any power over your work,
Amen.
over your effort, over your destiny. So you enjoy this miracle of supernatural protection. When God blesses a man, that man needs protection.
Amen.
Some people were blessed. But say next game. They were blessed. Open door of finances. They bought houses. But the devil did not allow them to enjoy the blessing. So even when God blesses you, you need protection. Edge of fire must be built around you and those blessings. they couldn't stop you from getting the blessings. They might come after the blessings. But when God protects you, when God protects you, He protects the blessings.
Amen.
And they will be frustrated.
Amen.
This is what God has for you. God, I want to give you rest. You know, when you are protected, you have rest. When God protects you, you have rest. You'll be able to sleep with your two eyes.
Amen.
Some people, they are blessed. They can't sleep at all at night. They can't sleep at all. Some people say, the moment I close my eyes, those demons will begin to pursue me in my dreams. Some people cannot sleep because of fear. If they sleep, they are in trouble. And some people, even before they land on their bed, they are gone. And they sleep like a baby. They are blessed, but because they have protection for them, they have rest.
Amen.
So God is giving you rest.
Amen.
In the name of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Number 3 miracle, rooted in divine leading, which bringeth about rest. It is the miracle of restoration. Miracle of restoration. Miracle of restoration. Psalm 23, we are still examining. Verse 3. He restored my soul. That is miracle of restoration. Why? He said, the Lord is my shepherd. As a number, that is provision. And now he said, he restored my soul. Because why? He has been the one guiding me. The one leading me. The one being my shepherd. And guess what? When it comes to restoration, God is always happy. Joel 2. When it comes to restoration, God is always on guard. Joel 2 verse 23. Verse 25. Joel 2:25. And I will restore to you the years that the locusts have eaten.
Amen.
The cankerworm and the caterpillar and the palmerworm, my great army which I set among you. I will restore years to you. That is the years that you have lost. Your friends have gone ahead of you. You finished school at the same time, but they have gone far away. You finished college at the same time. You received license at the same time. Being realtor or real estate agent. They have gone, but you are still behind. They have gotten married with 3 kids. You are still single. So I will restore the years.
Amen.
I will restore the years. This, when God restores the years for you, you begin to enjoy rest. And guess what? This is one of the packages of divine leading. Why God said, I have the agenda to give you rest. I will give the rest.
Amen.
Talking about the miracle of restoration, it is only an act of God. Let me give you some examples in the scriptures. Elisha and the sons of prophets in 2 Kings chapter 6. Elisha and the sons of prophets in 2 Kings chapter 6 from verse 1 to verse 7. 2 Kings chapter 6 verse 1 to verse 7, we are told that the place, now, when Bible talks about the sons of prophets, they are not kids, they are not babies, they are not two-year-old children, no. They were adults under the prophetic ministry of Elisha. So we call them sons of prophets. And every ministry ordained by God, every shepherd over the household is a father. And the sheep that God has placed in the care of that shepherd are children, are sons, spiritual sons and daughters. So now, the sons of prophets, they were increasing in numbers. The place they were using couldn't contain them anymore. And I said, we must look for a bigger place. And to do that, they must go and get beams from the forest. And I said, sir, this place we are using is too straight for us. It's too tight now. It can't contain us. They said, let us go and get beams so as to erect a new facility, a new building. So when they got there, as they were felling trees, the axe head fell into the river Jordan. Axe head is metallic, is an iron. So when an iron falls down into water, it will go down. You can't push it again. So that axe head was gone. And we got to cry. This axe was borrowed. What shall we do? And they cried, and the man said, don't worry. The prophet Elisha, he looked around and he saw a tree. He cut the branch of the tree and he cast that branch into water. Naturally speaking, that branch should float, not to sink. And guess what? Because God was on a mission of divine restoration, that branch sank. That tree sunk down. The moment it reached that bottom, that Jordan was so deep, very big river. The axe head left where it was. It began to flow up until it reaches the